Hi, it's Jennifer Ryan of Celtic Knot Crochet, and today I have a puff stitch tutorial for you. So if you're just joining, make sure you say hi in the chat. This is the project for today. So I'm Jennifer Ryan of Celtic Knot Crochet, and I'm glad to have you joining today. Happy Friday. This is the project we're going to be talking about. And it's made with some of my favorite yarn. We all love yarn. Say in the chat where you're watching from. I'd love to see where everybody tunes in from. Are you on the East Coast like me of the US and you're maybe on your lunch break at work? Or maybe it's earlier and you just woke up and you're on the West Coast. Or you've already finished your day because you're over in Europe or somewhere far from me. Thanks for joining today. Make sure you say hi in the description below or in the chat or the comments, whether you're watching on replay or watching live right now. Love to see where you tune in from. Again, I'm Jennifer Ryan of Celtic Knot Crochet, and I'm going to be showing you how to do this little flower right here that begins all of the motifs that are in this pillow project. It's called the Spring Blossoms Pillow. And in my neck of the woods, it's feeling like spring. Yay! After a long, cold winter, it's nice to have spring around. Go ahead and also write in the chat if you've ever crocheted a pillow before. Turns out I didn't realize how many. I've made several, and this is one of my favorites as far as the engineering goes in how you put these together. It's from a Crochet World past issue from April 2016, and you'll be able to buy an instant downloadable digital copy just by clicking the link in the description below. There are a lot of great projects in there, and even though it's from 2016, they're all still trendy and really pretty for your home, and there's some things to wear in there as well. But this here is a Spring Blossoms pillow. I'm going to show a little close-up. The flower is based on the puff stitch, and then the pillow itself is created with 6 triangles, and you join them as you go. So the last round of each triangle, you join it to the next triangle, so it has a really nice seamless look because you don't see where you join them. It just looks like more crochet. So that kind of adds to the illusion of, well, how did you make that? So I'm letting you in on my secret. 6 triangles. And then by putting those 6 triangles together, you get the hexagon shape. I actually have another secret that I just realized when I was doing the preparations for today. I was looking through the magazine pattern, and in the magazine pattern it says to make 12 triangles so it can be double-sided. But my original, there's only one side. So you can make however many triangles you'd like. 6 for one side or 12 to do both. But I just did the front side, and I actually made my own pillow. I used the hexagon shape once it was fully completed as a template, and then just used some cotton blend yarn and stuffed it with fiber fill. Very simple sewing project. But you could also take a square pillow and just tuck in the corners to make a hexagon shape. You see that? So if the pillow was square, it would have a corner right here, and you can just tuck that in and sew it up, and you can create your own hexagon easily from a store-bought pillow form. So that's another little trick for you. Here is what the magazine issue looks like. Again, you can get instant downloadable copy, and lots of great projects inside here. Perfect for spring. some shawls, doilies, some jewelry. So that's just something to think about if you need a new project. And the yarn I use is one of my favorite yarns. It's called Symphonia. And you can also purchase this in Annie's catalog store. A link to that will be in the description below as well. It's cotton yarn, comes in so many pretty colors, and I just love the feel of it and how you can really see your stitches well with this. As you can see here, you can see all the trebles and the doubles and the single crochets and all the shapes that your stitches make. This yarn really helps with that. So I highly recommend it. But of course you could use any size 3 yarn. The DK weight would work nicely for this pillow. So yarn, we all love yarn. Yay! Yarn on a Friday. So let me show you how to do the flower, and then I'll give you a couple other tips about how to put it all together by looking at the actual pillow. Because when you see a photo in a magazine with a pattern, sometimes there's just one photo and it's kind of hard to see how it all comes together. So with this little tutorial and the actual pillow here, maybe you'll learn some new things about how to join things. So let me set the pillow aside, and I'm going to flip my camera so you'll see my ceiling for a few seconds. Okay, so I've created the center flower that you can see right here. I've created it with some thicker yarn so it's easier to see the stitches. Can you see that? I'm going to move that out of the way so it doesn't try to focus on that. And what I wanted to show you is that normally when you start a motif like a granny square, you start it with a circle and then you add corners to create a square shape. For this project, since I'm creating a triangle, I started with a similar in the round circle shape like I would for a square, but I only added 3 corners. And like magic, ta-da, you get a triangle. So it's very simple when you think about it. And the key to making a triangle is that where things fit in just need to be divisible by 3. So I have 6 petals to my flower because one is near each corner and then one is in the side, like so. So let's get started on that. To start, you're going to chain 5 and create a ring by putting your hook into that first chain, yarn over, and slip stitch like this. And now I have a ring that I'm going to work right into that for all my stitches, and it gives you a really clean center like that. I'm going to chain 4 so I have the proper height. Now I'm going to show you the puff stitch. There are actually several ways to make a puff stitch. This is the way that this pattern tells you how to make it, and that I decided to create it with. Write in the chat if you've made puff stitches before and if you like them or you hate them. I love puff stitches. They give such great texture, but they do take a little while to get the hang of. So I'll show you what I mean by that. You're going to yarn over and you're going to insert your hook right into the ring. Then you're going to grab the yarn, yarn over again, and this is the tricky part. You want to raise that loop about a 1/2 inch tall. Of course, I'm using larger yarn, so my loops are a little bit bigger. But however tall your beginning chain 4 was, that's how long you want the loops for. And then I'm going to do that 4 more times. Yarn over, put my hook in the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop the same height as the other one. So that was 2, 3, 4, I'm loading up my hook with lots of great loops. So I did that. Yarn over, hook in, yarn over, pull up a loop 5 times. So now I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 loops on my hook. Now I'm going to yarn over, and this is what some people find the most tricky, is you have to turn your hook so it faces downward and it fits through those loops. Easy peasy, just like that. Now some puff stitches require that you put a chain 1 here, but for this pattern I'm not going to add that chain 1. So I pulled through all 11 loops and my puff stitch will look like that. And now I'm going to yarn over twice, put my hook back into the ring, and I'm going to do a treble crochet. So now I have 4 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And now I've framed that puff stitch with the chain 4, puff stitch, treble. So this chain 4 acts like a treble and it frames it. Next I'm going to chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is what creates my first corner for the triangle by just creating that space. It's pretty easy. I like easy. So I'll do it again one more time for you. So I'm going to do a treble crochet. So I yarn over twice, put my hook in, yarn over, pull up a loop, 4 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through 2, through 2, through 2, slide it over to give me some more room, then I yarn over, hook into the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop. And I'm going to do that 4 more times. Yarn over, hook in, yarn over, pull up a loop. Yarn over, hook in, yarn over, pull up a loop. Yarn over, hook in, yarn over, pull up a loop. Got some polyfill fuzz there. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Only have 9. I got to do it one more time. Yarn over, hook in, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now I have 11 loops on my hook. Yarn over. Remember, turn your hook. You want it to line up. See how if I were to try to pull my hook through sideways, it would catch on all of the loops and I'd get very frustrated. So I want to rotate my hook. Can you see how I'm rotating it down? Sorry, it's going a little blurry. Come on. So rotate my hook down like that. And now the hook is the same shape as the loops and I can easily pull it through everything like that. So that's a key that I teach all my students when trying to pull through lots of loops. You want to twist your hook and make it work for you. You don't want to be fighting with your hook and your yarn. Then crochet is not fun. So we have another treble crochet and you can see the frame. Treble, puff, treble, and now I'm just going to chain 1. So I work 2 puff petals with a chain 5 in between, and then I'm going to do a chain 1 after. And now I would repeat that all the way around. So I have another treble, and then another puff. I'm going to do it fast now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 11 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through everything, and then treble on the other side, and then chain 5 for my second corner of the triangle. See how that's coming to shape? So I'll show you with the completed one. So a puff, we started here, a puff, chain 5, then another puff, chain 1, puff, chain 5, puff, chain 1. See how it repeats? Puff, chain 5, puff, chain 1, And there we have a triangle with some puff stitches in the middle. Now, if you look at the actual pillow, I'll show you. Here is that beginning flower, and then each round after, I just add more and more to the corner. So just like you would in a granny square where you add a lot more stitches to expand at the corner, I did the same thing here. Here's some tall trebles with another big chain space and tall trebles. Then I work down the side, and then tall trebles, big chain space, tall trebles on this side. So you can use the similar techniques of making squares and granny squares to make pretty much any shape, but here you see it with the triangle. And there's only a few rounds. This is round 1, white is round 2, round 3, and then one more, round 4, and then right here is the joining round. Do you see this right here? That's a single crochet, and then I chain 2, and I single crocheted in the last round of the neighboring triangle. Then I chain 2, single crocheted back on the first one. Chain 2, single crochet here. And it's a nice back and forth zigzag pattern, but instead of sewing it with my needle, I was able to crochet it. And again, I love how it looks where you can't really tell that it's a joining stitch. It just looks like more of the project. And then after they're all crocheted together, you sew the center together, but then you put this little lonely flower right over the center so it actually hides some of your seaming. That's another little trick. So you can use little flowers and little different crochet appliques to help you hide maybe some of your seaming, and then it all helps it tie in together with the pillow. And once everything's put together, I added a simple chain edging, and then I filled it in with a scallop stitch all the way around. And then I just sewed with a needle and thread, joined now the big hexagon motif to my hexagon pillow form. So I'll show you one more time. Here's the triangle for round 1. And just like a granny square, you just keep adding extra stitches and chain lengths at the corners, and your triangle shape could just keep going and get bigger and bigger. And then a little geometry for you. 6 triangles make a hexagon. So I'm going to turn my camera back around. Give me a second here. See my ceiling. So that's how you do a puff stitch flower, and how you join 6 triangles to make a hexagon to make an interesting pillow shape like this one. What colors, excuse me, what colors would you use? I love greens and blues. It's some of my favorite colors, but I think this would look really pretty with a deep pink, or a deep pink for the flower and then a light pink around it, and then some, maybe an olive green to kind of mimic the look of leaves. That's what this round was, to kind of give the hint of some leaves going around the triangle. So write in the chat below if you've ever done a puff stitch before, or made a pillow, or if you want to give this pillow or this style of joining triangles together and making a triangle out of crochet. If you want to give that a try, write it in the chat below. I'd love to hear about it. And remember, you can find the yarn for this project at Annie's Craft Store, online, Symphonia, and you can click on the link in the description below for the magazine that this pattern is found in, along with 23 other great spring projects. So thanks so much for joining. I'm Jennifer Ryan of Celtic Knot Crochet, and it was nice to spend this time with you on a Friday. Yay! And I hope you learned something, and I hope that you're able to find some time for your crochet projects this weekend. See you next month. Take care. Bye.